Hello everyone, I am Dr. Krishna Chaitanya Atmakuri. Today's topic is styles and classes from the course Web Systems Engineering. We'll dive into detail about topic styles and classes. At the end of this topic, learners will be able to make the uses of CSS properties for formatting web pages. We have different types of cascading style sheets and its properties we'll discuss in detail. Cascading style sheets. In short, we call it as CSS. CSS is a style sheet language used to describe the presentation and layout of HTML documents. To change the appearance of your web page, you have to use cascading style sheets. It controls the design, colors, fonts, spacing, and position of elements on a web page. So by using HTML, we'll control the structure of the web page. Whatever you given text that is displayed in the web page using HTML, hypertext markup language. So by using CSS, we can style the web pages. CSS helps in creating visually appealing and responsive websites by separating content from design. So here, by using CSS, we can separate the design as well as actual content by using external style sheets. So by using the CSS, we can change the colors of your text, or change the font names, or we can give the spaces or position, or we can change background color, background images, or we can do anything by using CSS properties or CSS. Basically, CSS gives the outer cover on any HTML elements. If you consider HTML as a skeleton of the web page, the CSS will be the skin of the skeleton. Right? So that is a simple definition for CSS. So we'll see the advantages of CSS and disadvantage of CSS. Advantage of CSS is compatible with all devices. With the help of CSS, website maintains an easy and faster. CSS supports consistent changes. Whenever we need, we can change the appearance or font color or font type or font, or do you have the text color, text size, all that we can change. CSS makes the faster and enhance search engine capabilities to crawl the web pages. It holds a special feature that is the ability to reposition. So these are simple, some of the features of or advantage of CSS. Next, coming to disadvantage of CSS. In CSS, there is a cross browsers issue. If you design anything and check on Chrome, it looks perfect, but that does not mean it will look the same in the other browsers. Then we have to add the script for the browser also. So here what is the issue is, if you sometimes that we will get the issues, not display the content correctly. There is a lack of security in CSS. CSS is vulnerable. It is exposed to possibly being attacked. So hackers can attack which have the CSS files, and they can do modification or do something. They can change that content. CSS is a fragmentation issue. So these are some of the disadvantages of CSS. So we'll move to the how to write the syntax and how to write the CSS in your web page to change the appearance of your web page. The syntax is the rule set has three parts: a selector, property, and a value. So simple syntax, see here, selector, property, colon, value. In between curly braces, you have to write that property and value. Any number of properties we can pass. Each sub property you have to separate with semicolon. And everything you have to write in between curly braces. And here we'll write the selector. For example, H1 is the selector, and we'll write the color is text color is some blue and semicolon. And we can change the font size and font uh, family name. If you want to change, you can write it. Everything you have to separate it with semicolon. So here it is a selector. For example, H1 is the selector. See the example. So H1 is the selector. And properties for this H1 selector, whichever you written in body section H1 element, they were changing the color, text color to blue color. And this is one property and value. So property and value. So each one you have to separate with property and value, you have to separate with colon, and each one have to separate with property, have to separate with semicolon. So one property is color, another property is font size. So the text color which are written in H1 element, that is change the color to text color to blue color and font size to 12 pixels. So here you can understand easily selector, to whom we are applying these properties. So to the selector. The property, what property you are changing? So different properties are there in CSS. One of the properties color. And next we have the value, how to change the text color. For example, text color. So each one is the selector, color and font size as properties. Blue and 12 pixels are values. The part of the syntax that contains the properties and values is known as declaration block. So this entire thing we call as declaration block. So this also we call as one declaration. This is another declaration. Each declaration you have to separate with semicolon. So that is the syntax for CSS. Next, very important, we are discussing types of cascading style sheets. There are three types of CSS are there. One is to change the appearance of your web page, you can use any one, right? So CSS has different types of based on how styles are applied to HTML. Here are three main types with examples. One is inline. By using the style attribute inside HTML element and applicable one single line tag. So inline style sheet. Next we have internal or embedded CSS. By using a style element in the head section and applicable for single and multiple tags. So we have to write internal styles inside of head section with starting and ending tag is style. Next one is external style sheet. By using a link element to link an external CSS file extension called .css. So create a .css file. There you write the CSS properties and link to the HTML document to CSS by using link element. So three types of CSS are there: inline style sheet, internal style sheet, and external style sheets. Right? Inline, internal, external. So in detail we'll discuss one by one with example. Inline CSS. Apply directly to an HTML element using the style attribute. So directly in body section itself, along with your HTML element, we can add the style using style element. Used for quick styling, but not recommended for large projects. So we cannot use this for large projects. So for simple or a single line HTML element, if you want to add, you can add the styles by using inline style sheet. Right? Simple example. So H1 is the element. In the body section we are writing. Style is equal to color red, that is property and value. One declaration. Another declaration is we given text align center. And one more is font family Vardhana. So by using all these properties, to whom we are applying? To H1 element. So which are given the text, for that we are applying this CSS element. CSS properties. Right? Welcome to IARE. So one more element we created, P tag. So P tag we given style is color red. What are you given the text between P element? So that will colored in red color. So each element, each property have to end with semicolon. So that is a simple example for inline CSS. Next, internal CSS. Defined inside a style tag in the head section of an HTML element. HTML document. Useful for styling a single web page without an external file. For a single document, if you want to style it, wherever we have the same elements, we have to apply the same properties, then you can use internal style sheet. So you have to write this internal style sheet in head section with starting element, style, and end with style element. Right? See here, starting and ending. So all your properties for your HTML elements or selectors, we have to write this, right? Their properties. For example, body. Background color is power blue. So property name and value we have to separate with colon and then with semicolon. So this is one of the HTML element, the body. So we are giving the color, background color. And one more, if you use H1 element, right? That is giving the color is text color is blue. Next, we have one more is P. P is a paragraph tag. So we're giving two properties. Everything you have to write in between curly braces, and each declaration you have to separate with semicolon. So, so this is simple example. This we written in internal style sheet. Internal style sheet, and this one is body written. So you have the H1 element, P element, and body element. Right. For this we applied CSS properties. Right. So this text color is displayed in blue color. Blue color. Okay. So that is internal style sheet. Next we have external style sheets. External CSS. External CSS is a method of applying CSS styles by linking an external style sheet, that is .css file, to an HTML document using the link tag. So this is a very important CSS style sheet. So many of the application they are using external CSS. We are separating the CS styles in separate document, and actual content we are storing in a web document, HTML document. We are linking both of them. So once you create external CSS, we can use that one for multiple pages. For entire project, if we want to apply the same properties, then we can use that .css file and we can link it to your HTML document, right? So by using link tag, we can link it, and external file we have to save the file with .css. Normal HTML document we save the file with .html, CSS with .css, and we have to link in one HTML document to CSS by using link tag. It is the best practice for styling large websites because it keeps designs separate from the content, improving maintainability and reusability. So one of the important note, the external CSS file should not contain any HTML tags. They do not no need of writing any HTML tags, right, in CSS file. So see here, my style, we created external CSS file. For body section, we assign the properties. Between the curly braces we given, we declare the each property. Each one you have to separate with colon. So background color we given light blue, and family given Arial sans serif. For H1, we written these properties and paragraph properties. Okay, all these CSS properties we assign and stored in .css. So we given here my style.css. This one CSS file you have to link to your HTML document. Right. So this one is HTML document. Head section. In head section, very important is link. How to link the external CSS to your HTML. So what you have to write? We have to use link element, and we have two attributes. Relation. Rel means relation. What type of relation we are using? That style sheet we are linking. So that we have to write style is equal to the value is style sheet. Then how to link that document? By using href, hyperlink reference. So that is a file name mystyle.css. For this body h1p, it will assign this properties. Okay. So that about external CSS. We'll see simple example how to use this three types of CSS, and then we move to the next selectors. So open the VS Code, and one HTML file, HTML document. So we are using HTML5 version. So simple, we give the title style sheets, and we start writing how to apply the style sheets. 3 types. First one is internal inline style sheet. Right, we simply giving the heading here, types of style sheets. So we are displaying the 3 types, that is inline, internal, external style sheets. So I want to give this some styles, inline style sheet for this H3 tag, H3 element. So style, so I have to use the style element, style attribute in H3 element. So style is equal to changing the color, CYLO color to black, right? So black color, and we're giving the body background color, for example. Okay. Otherwise, we'll change this color to red. Okay. So save this file. So this one is normal text we are displaying, and this one we applied inline style sheet. Save this file. And open the browser. Yeah. So this is your output. So here use the normal without any styles. Yeah. Use the element H2 element. This one is a H3 element we applied in inline style sheet. Inline style sheet. So the red color we given. So this entire text we applied inline style sheet. So that color is changed. Okay. So this one is inline style sheet. We'll create one more element, P paragraph. External style sheets have to save .css file, .css. So now we are discussing internal style sheet. Internal, we have to write in head section. Right? See here, we have to use style, open tag and close tag. Here we are applying the for body some background color. That is some like green. Right, we're giving the green color for background, and right, that is one style we are applied CSS properties. Next we are giving for p tag CSS properties. So in this one is internal style sheet, right? Font size we are giving here 25 fonts, right? 25 fonts. And font color, okay, font you can give the text color like the color is equal to blue, right? Blue. Just save the file and open the browser and do refresh, right? So this one is internal style sheet. We given here internal style sheet, this one, and this one is inline style sheet, and this one background also given internal style sheet for body element. This is without styles, right? So next we'll discuss external style sheets. So open the new file, save this file, mystyle.css. So create one more tag, right? For example, take that, right? For H2, we are applying the external CSS for H2 for simple, right? Otherwise, same properties we can save in external style sheets. Okay, so that we'll discuss. my style dot css dot css. Create the file. Right. So here simply I'm removing internal style sheet. Yeah, just remove it. Right. Paste in my style dot css. So same properties we are applying. Right. Here we are discussing types of CSS: inline, internal, and external. Here it is external style sheet. So given the body background color green and font size we given here. And if you want to change this, we want to remove this also. Right, for H3 also you want to assign. Right, external style sheet we can assign. Otherwise save. Right. So save the file. Observe here, you not used any HTML tags in external style sheets. Right. So this is the way we have to create external CSS file. And next we have to link this one. How to link? So we have to use here link, right? Link relation is equal to style sheet, and right href is equal to what is my CSS file name? My style dot CSS, right? So just save the file. Close the link element. Save the file, right? For a different understanding purpose, we changing this color, right? For understanding, right? We change some color, right? Right. We change this one to different color, right? Violet. Right. Just save the file, and now you do refresh, right? You change it. So this one is without CSS. This one is inline style sheet, and this one is external style sheet. External style sheet. So this is the way we can create HTML document and we can apply the CSS properties. So link, very important, link relation style sheet href is equal to mystyle.css file. Mystyle.css contain all your CSS. Like this we can write any number of properties based on your requirement. Just we can link to this CSS file to your HTML document. So three types of CSS: inline, internal, and external style sheet. Next we discuss class selectors. Two types are there. One is ID selector for identifying the HTML element. We use the ID selector of class selector. We'll discuss in detail ID selector. The ID selector is used to style a specific element by targeting its unique ID attribute. So to identify the element uniquely, then we can use ID attribute. An ID must be unique within a web page. So within the web page, so the ID cannot repeat. So only one for one element we assign the ID. The ID selector is defined using the hash symbol followed by the ID name. So CSS properties, if you want to apply for that ID or that element, you have to use hash symbol, hash. Right? Observe here. So given this element, the paragraph element with name ID is equal to para1. Para is equal to 1. Right? This is the way we're giving the ID. Right? To identify this or to identify that element, with behalf of this P element, remove that and we can assign here ID. So here style, internal style sheet, we are giving for this para1 properties. So you have to start with hash para1, and you give the declaration type, right? That property name, text align, colon center, and color is red. So for this p tag, so you have two p tags are there. But first, okay, only for first p tag, it will apply text align is center and color is red. For this second p tag, it will not apply any CSS properties because we given here ID is going to be a para1. So only this para1 it will apply these properties, not for all the para p tags. Previously, what happened? So wherever h1 tag is there, it will apply all the properties. But here, the particular element, particular HTML element, we are assigning the properties by using ID selector. And we are identifying with we are assigning the properties with hash para1 to identify this paragraph HTML element, right? So ID selector is a. So one more is select class selector. So the class selector used to apply styles to multiple elements that share the same class name. So we can share the class name to same name to multiple elements also. It will apply the same properties for all the elements by using class selector. So ID selector is for particular element only that is unique. We cannot repeat that name. But here for multiple elements, we can assign the same name and we can apply the properties by using class selector. So ID selector which is unique to one element. A class can be assigned to multiple elements, making it more flexible for styling groups of elements. The class selector is defined using a dot followed by the class name. So the CSS class selector. See simple example. We given this paragraph as a FERED and the next paragraph also given FERED. Fred. So for this PPP, this paragraph text, they'll apply all these properties, but you have to write with dot. When you're telling it is a class identification of that element, class means you have to start with dot that class name. If it is ID, then you have to start with hash. Okay. All these properties apply for these two paragraphs. So multiple elements you can assign it. Okay. So here it is different elements, H1 and P. For different element also, if you give the class is equal to center, it will apply the same properties. Right. Next one is grouping selector. So for multiple elements, we can give the same properties. So that is a grouping selector. So grouping selector selects all the HTML elements the same style definitions. Looking at the following CSS code, H1, H2, P elements have the same style definition. See, observe here. H1 has a text align center, color red. For HD also same properties. H3, P paragraph also same properties. So no need of writing same properties for different elements repeated. So simply we can write by using grouping selector. See here, H1 comma in internal style sheet, H1 comma. So each one you have to separate with comma, H1 comma, H2 comma, P. Between curly braces, write your property. So we can reduce the size of your coding, right? And we can apply the same properties for all the elements. So that is a grouping selector. So it is used to minimize the code. To group selectors, separate each selector by a comma. Okay. Multiple style sheets. If some properties have been defined for the same selector in different style sheets, so same selector, but different styles we are applying. Then what happens? The value from the last read style sheet will be used, which will read the last style sheet that will be applied. Assume that an external style has the following style for the H1 element. So here it is H1 element we given color navy. Then assume that an internal style sheet also has the following style for the H1 element. So this one is internal and right. That we given H1 colon orange. So this one is external. This one is internal style. So which one it will apply finally? So the color is orange. Okay, if you've given that in link element before the internal style sheet, then you will apply the orange. If you apply given that external style sheet after the internal, then it will apply the text color is navy for H1 element. Okay, so this one is see here we given this before style element we given the external style sheet. So this will apply first, then it will replace with internal style sheet. So that we call it as multiple style sheets. Right? Suppose you given here first internal style sheet, then external style sheet. So whatever you have the properties of H1 element in external style sheet, that will be replaced with it, right? So first it will apply color orange, then it will whatever you have H1 element, if you return the style is color red, that will be replace. Okay. So that is the multiple style sheets, right? So we'll see simple example for ID and class. Okay. See here, for H2 element, we are giving is equal to ID is equal to, we given the name style one. In here we writing, right, the style style. We are writing the internal style sheet. We are using the ID. So I'll start with hash. What is the name? Style. So for H2 element, we are applying the styles. So we are displaying it in center. Text align center. Okay. Sorry. Right. Set text align is equal to set. Save the file and open that output and do refresh. So this text is displayed in center. Okay. So that about ID, how to use. If you use for H2 second H2, then you have to change. You cannot use the same style, right? ID name that must be unique. Okay. So like that we have to use, right? Next we have class, right? Class. So for multiple, right, you can apply it. P class is equal to class1, for example. And here also using one more paragraph. This also we can give class is equal to class1, right? Class1. So for multiple, right? For H3 also you can give class, right? Class is equal to class1, right? So for multiple elements, we can give here styles. This one internal, right? Style1 ID using. If using these classes, you have to use dot class1, right? Class1. So you have to start with, right, dot. Right. So text font, font family, sans serif, right? We are applying a sans serif for all these classes. So that is P element, H3 element, and P element. So for multiple elements, we can apply it. So for all the classes, whichever you have, you're applying this font families, sans serif. Just save the file, open it, and do refresh. So it will apply the sans serif. So like this we can use, right? So as well as we can apply for H2 tag, P tag, H3 tag, right? We can apply the CSS properties. Font size is, right, 25, okay, 35 points, for example. Just save the file and do refresh, right? 35 points. So like this we can use, right, group of elements, same properties we can apply. Otherwise you can use class selector. The class selector is now points to P and H3 P tag, and ID is style1 is points to H2 tag. So like this we can use, right? So finally coming to conclusion, yeah. So CSS can applied in three main ways, that is inline, internal, and external CSS. While inline CSS useful for quick fixes, internal CSS good for single page styling. So when you have to use internal styling for single page styling, for assigning for single element, then you can use inline CSS. External CSS is best practice for maintaining and scaling projects effectively. So when you have a large project, you have to apply the same properties for all the pages. Then you can use external CSS. When you have a large project, you can use external CSS. For example, IARE.ac.in. So header and footer and some colors will be repeated. So then we can use external CSS. Choosing the right type depends on the project needs, but using the external style sheets ensures better organization, reusability, and maintainability. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.